OK, Andrea.
Yes.
We speak at last. You believe there's an issue, don't you, across the world? Because quite a lot of people come to this country because it is a tolerant country, and yet I know you feel that when Christians go abroad, they're very often persecuted, aren't they? Or when Christians who live abroad.
Well, indeed, that they are persecuted, and we've seen whether in secular regimes, hard secular regimes, very often Christians are not free to practice their beliefs. In hard Islamic regimes, Christians aren't free to practice their beliefs, or secularists aren't free to go about their way. So I think we do have to look at the root of why our country has been known as the land of the free and the brave, a country where our education systems, our parliamentary systems have been emulated across the world. Why? It goes right back to the Magna Carta, that's true. But the inspiration behind the Magna Carta was Jesus Christ. The inspiration was Christianity. And actually, that is what has given us our freedom and our flourishing. And the reality now is, as we experience social, cultural chaos and a deep sense of lostness in terms of our identity, that we get this kind of collision of ideas, suppression and oppression. The reality of Christianity is that it is welcoming, it is hospitable, it doesn't coerce, it hosts. And what we're finding with an increasingly secular regime, and certainly what I'm finding as director of the Christian Legal Centre, is that Christians are losing their jobs for offering prayer, Christians are losing their jobs for holding opinions in schools, Christians are losing their jobs because they won't preside over same-sex marriages. There is this is reality. I think another thing I want to just say as well, a reality of working at the Christian Legal Centre is this, that in the last month we've had women who have been born and raised in London and in London schools and at London universities who have wanted to leave Islam, and they have been threatened with their life if they leave Islam. Now, these women aren't coming from Saudi Arabia, they're not coming from northern Nigeria. Sadly, they're coming from London, they're coming from Birmingham, they're coming from Bradford. And that's when we can't tolerate such intolerance. We can't tolerate the threat of women. But this is something that we need to That's a thing we need to
I think this debate on tolerance, it must split into two.
What about that? Do you believe that's happening? People threaten.
It does happen.
How do you know it happens?
Well, I've been approached by people who've told me they've been threatened and intimidated. I know it happens, and I come from...
OK, Andrea Williams, you say that we have to believe in something.
Well, we can't teach and avoid. And actually what's given us our freedom and our flourishing is our Christian heritage, is the backdrop of our Christian faith. To believe in nothing, to believe in nothing, to believe in existentialism,
can't we believe in freedom?
Yes,
can't we believe in democracy?
And those ideals come from a Christian backdrop.
But ancient Greeks believed in democracy.
That is what served our... That is actually...
There has to be some moral absolutes.
Well, give me a second. Go this first.
Let's say a couple of things. First of all, I mean, I always think it's useful. The former Bishop of Edinburgh, Richard Holloway, had a very good line on this. He said that the opposite of faith is not doubt, but certainty. And I think it's worth bearing in mind. Look, I just wanted to mention also, comes back slightly to something I said earlier, but the period we are in of churn and rethinking about what it exactly is, it's what the Prime Minister's been writing about this morning. Everyone's trying to nail these values down.
Nailing jelly to a wall.
And one of the things about this is, and I think it's just the reaction to Andrea's comments, a good example of that. Nobody, it seems, is very keen on admitting where, I mean, I speak as a secularist, but nobody's very keen on admitting the Christian origin of some of these things, and I think we have to be frank about that. We can't write our heritage out or pretend it was something else, and just...
Peter, you say in your column today, you described this, I mean, I said nailing jelly to a wall, this finding a definition of Britishness. You described it as squelchy. You know, it's impossible to define. What is Britishness to you?
It is impossible to define. You can only define it by the way in which it's been destroyed.
So what does Mr. Cameron mean? What's he talking about?
He doesn't know what he means. He's simply talking for political advantage. The difficulty that these people have is that the nation-state, which I very much support, is the largest unit in which it's possible to be effectively unselfish. We had that. Now that we don't necessarily share either a religion or a language or a belief in certain customs and laws, we don't have it. It's a regrettable change that's overtaken this country, but one which is obviously irreversible. How we work out how to live with our new neighbours in peace and harmony is going to be very difficult.